Okay, we are live, guys.
Awesome.
Let me just switch us over. No more timer. No
Welcome.
more music.
Welcome to the bloodbath.
What blood clot?
Hey, we all knew this day would come, but I know, man. It's been a wild day today. I mean, I think we all kind of figured this might be the outcome eventually soon, with the Fed taking 6 years to cut some rates here. I feel like they should have been cutting rates a while back. I feel like their data is like way behind. But hey, this is what it leads to at the end of the day. I guess it leads to good buying opportunities for some people, though, because I do think once Fed start to slash rates finally, that I feel like obviously things will get a little better then. But they're slow as all get out. At this point, I'm like, yo, emergency meeting, just drop the rates right now, please. Just get rid of it. Give me a whole basis point. Just slash. Like, you guys should have been cutting months ago. That's the way I look at it, at least. How do you guys feel about, like, obviously the overall market and like the Fed being slow, or do you think the Fed's okay to just continue bleeding everybody out for forever?
For me, it's funny. Elon's been asking for the same thing, rate cuts, and how bad is it? I mean, if you look at the last 1 week, where have the indexes gone to?
Yeah, I mean, if you look today,
Can you take a
obviously
quick look?
it's going to be a lot different. Yeah, let's pull.
Yeah, including today. So let's say like today.
Yeah. Yeah, if you, I mean, obviously, again, if you look at the over this past week, so you don't look at, what do you want to look at on the past week, the S&P 500 or everything? It doesn't matter to me. Let's see, but it's been
While you're looking it up, everyone, welcome to Stonks. We are Ali and I are here in Vegas for the day because Eddie is getting married, and so we're here to attend his wedding.
Great time to get married too.
Yeah, it's Bloody Monday is when he's getting married. So, yeah.
It
we
is.
might live stream his wedding too. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I mean, I thought this was going to happen eventually. We'd see like a good 5 to 10% correction in the market, just because, again, like I said, I feel like they've been taking so long to do something. Like, I honestly, I would have started cutting rates probably back in April or May. To be honest, that's when I would have started cutting rates, because again, we're at this point where it's just like, what are we going to do? Like, you guys are going to continue bleeding the markets, or at least anyway, when it comes to the long term, at least, right? Like, we already see spots in the market where it's starting to sputter. So why are we waiting till it to actually sputter before we even start doing rate cuts? Like, you're already seeing those things happen. Like, what are we doing? That's my biggest thing with it. It's just it's just been very annoying to me, obviously, as a retail investor. But again, I know lots of bigger people obviously been asking for rate cuts too. But I feel like when we're looking at it, it's just I know the past. If you look at the past 6 months, we've been doing great, right? It's been going up, up. But I still feel like people were counting on them to cut rates, even if the market was okay, we're going to cut rates in September. And then we got the bad market news with jobs report, which again, I think that's another thing we all kind of knew was going to happen anyway. We already kind of seen that over the last few months. The jobs reports weren't we're getting revised back down, so every month the jobs reports are coming out decent. It's okay, we're still growing, but every month the next jobs report come out, the last job report gets revised back down. So that was one of the red flags for me early on, was man, it's every month we're revising the last month down, which is kind of scary, because you already know at that point it's okay, we're the data that the Fed is looking at is outdated at that point, right? So they're already looking at this oh, this is great, we're keeping up with jobs, but a lot of those jobs were also government jobs too, right? I'm not saying all the jobs were government jobs, or all the jobs were McDonald's or whatever it may be, but a lot of jobs were one, not super high paying jobs, or two, they were government jobs. I don't know. Like I said, I feel for me, April, May would have been a good month to start cutting rates. But I know some people out there like, you can't cut rates, but it's like, man, at this point, I don't know why you wouldn't cut rates.
Speaking of government jobs, I saw the most interesting thing. Elon was giving an interview recently, and he just like let this nugget slip where he said he was on a call with Donald Trump, and they brought up the possibility of setting up a commission called the Efficiency Commission, where they would look at every single government job and figure out if it's truly needed. Can you imagine if they did to the US government what Elon did at Twitter? Like, this would
Maybe.
like make America truly great again. Like, can you imagine if they cut 80% of the government? Like, oh my God, you could like cut taxes by like half and still be fine.
Yeah, you have to have the right people, obviously, if you cut it, down to that far. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I feel like there's definitely a lot of government jobs out there that are 100% not needed, and I feel like there's certain sectors where there should be maybe either more people or people that are more, inclined to do their job. Because I feel like that's a lot of it too. It's like, they hire a lot of people, but a lot of times those people, one, don't know what they're doing, or two, they know what they're doing, they just don't want to do said thing, or they'll do like, a little bit here, a little bit there. So obviously that means we need to hire more people over time. I do think there should be audits within the government when it comes to those kind of jobs, when it comes to job sectors in general, especially government side. I do think like audits themselves would help out a lot with like eliminating people that really, one, don't want to do their job, or two, don't know what the hell they're doing.
Like, to me, that was the most interesting idea I had heard for this whole election campaign season, and it didn't even come from any of the candidates. It came from Elon Musk.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones thinking
like,
outside the box, though, right? I feel like at the end of the day, it all depends on, like, to me at least, when it comes to presidential campaigns and those things. I honestly think it depends on the people around them more than really the president itself. Like, what's the cabinet going to look like, right? How's that whole bill going to be? Obviously, I feel like we really don't know what we're going to get. I mean, I guess with Trump, we know what you're going to get, but with Harris, you kind of know what you're going to get, but you also kind of don't know what you're going to get, because obviously it's going to be probably a little bit different than Biden's side of things. It's, to me at least, again, when I'm looking at stuff like that, like I'm looking at like what's the team going to be, right? What's the makeup going to be? Because I feel like that's the biggest thing, because that's where all the ideas come from, and then you get shot over to said president, and the president's like signing off or not signing off. Either way it goes, I feel like that's the biggest thing when we're talking about that. Like, we're looking for those type of ideas. I think obviously those ideas definitely come outside of the president itself, and sometimes their whole team in general. It's just like some could be like somebody like Elon Musk. Or another CEO or whoever it may be. I feel like that's sometimes when the best, ideas get floated out. Now, did they come to fruition? I have no idea, because obviously we see a lot of ideas get shot out there, and then like they're like, yeah, we back this, and then it never happens. So those are always kind of things that you got to look at as well.
Yeah, well, it's wishful thinking at this point, I think.
But, yeah, pretty much. That's what I always look at stuff. It's like, man, like it is definitely wishful thinking, though.
Yeah, let's. I think what's been really fun today is just watching all the memes. I've been having a blast.
Oh, there's great memes.
My portfolio is in the red and is in the shitters, but the memes are epic.
So is mine.
The memes have been incredible. Like, oh, you want to pull up some of the good ones, Jason?
Yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah, you say so. You sent me this one. This one's great. Like my portfolio last week. My portfolio now. Yeah. I think we all know who she is, obviously. I'm sure she took a fair bit of money with the FTX, but definitely 100% here. Like, man, this is a gold meme right here.
William, if you're watching, that's a good meme.
It is definitely a great meme, though. 100% should reuse. You could do lots of variants of memes with this one.
Okay, so let's say that's meme number one, what you just saw, and let's vote on the best meme.
Yeah, and then so we got this one right here. Obviously, here's 5. Here's like, good morning. Here's 5 TikTok dances you can do to help prevent a cataclysmic financial collapse.
And just so you know, you can dance with emojis if you hit the stonk head.
I feel like this one's it right here. This has to be the dance. I don't know if you guys have seen this, like that whole video. But that meme is hilarious. Like, this is the dance you got to do to prevent it all day, every day. This should be the one you do.
Oh, yeah, these have been epic. The comment section on these memes
Oh,
is
the
just
comments.
hilarious.
Honestly, I feel like sometimes the memes themselves are great, but the comment section's great. It's like this one right here. I'm doing it. Can I get 70% of my portfolio? Please.
It's funny. We have like hundreds of people watching right now who come for financial advice, and we show you memes. It's this is why Stonks is awesome.
This is what you come to on a Monday when the market's bloody. Like I said, I mean, at this point, like I said, I feel like we all have the feds to thank for our bloody red day. They waited way too long to even think about cuts. And like, oh, we may cut. Like, I guess they're going to do like a half. They're saying like a 0.5% cut in September. I still feel like that's too slow. I just feel like they've held on way too long, and we're at a point to where it's like, it's a tip and balance scale. Like, you guys are trying to do the soft landing. I get that. But at this point, you guys are coming in for a nice hard landing, and the parachute isn't working. That's the way I look at it.
Guys, how are we feeling about Palantir? Just you want to give new people who are new to Stonks a quick introduction on how to enter and
real quick. That's a good idea. Hope everybody's doing great today. Everybody in the chat. What's up, Trust Funds? Glad to see you. What's up, Crypto Miner? Good to see you too, William. Hey, hope everybody's doing well today. Man, it's a good day in the market. So if you guys want to win free money, which is always a great thing, especially on a red day, then you can take that money and put that into the red stocks, and then they'll turn green eventually, and you'll be up. I feel like today's like a really good day to buy overall, though. Like, red days are great days to buy. Like, obviously, we'll talk about Berkshire as well, stacking up some cash ready to buy into, because I think he obviously seen the writing on the wall as well. So, but we'll talk about that. For right now, I'll give you guys an introduction of what we're going to do here. So, the game's like super, super easy. All you got to do is come over to stonks.com, sign up for an account. Literally takes you like 1 minute. Or if you're watching right now, you can click, make an account. Or if you're watching, you already have an account, don't know really how to make a prediction. All you got to do to make a prediction is come down here to make prediction. You'll click on this. You see Palantir. Today's stock is obviously Palantir. On the day, I mean, like, obviously we had started out like rough, and it's been, going up a little bit here, which is great overall compared to some stocks. But like I said, to make a prediction, let's just say right now, obviously shows your live price right here. Let's just say today's a red day. So let's just say you're like, I'm bullish, but I don't know how bullish. So we can go to 25.69, make prediction. When you submit this prediction, obviously confetti will fall right here. And you obviously, at that point, you've made your prediction. It'll be in the chat. Don't type your prediction in the chat because that doesn't work. So make sure you guys are hitting make prediction. Again, it just doesn't work when you just type it. I've seen a couple people earlier do that. Obviously, we got you guys corrected, but make sure that you guys are hitting make prediction. So if you haven't got your bids in yet, we have 21 minutes left. We can hit 1,500 predictions today, and I can feel it. We can do that easily. So make sure you guys get your predictions in. If you guys want extra tickets, you can get unlimited extra tickets by having your mom, your dad, or you can post it on your Discord, your social, by copying your referral link and pasting that. As soon as somebody signs up using your referral link, you get 5 extra tickets. Which is super awesome. And again, that's unlimited. So you can get unlimited tickets. That's your way to freedom and financial freedom at that point too. Let's see. Obviously, again, you guys can enter as many times as you want. So it's not like you guys can only do one entry. So as long as, let's just say you have 50 tickets, you can enter 50 times into one thing. I mean, if that's your goal, right, to do it all at once, you can obviously spread those out over multiple days as well. Make sure you guys are claiming these as well. So every 8 days, this will reset. Mine's obviously just reset today because yesterday was my 8th day and I claimed it. And if you guys want extra other tickets, enable notifications. So if you're on something other than, I think, Google, and they might have fixed this yet, Oliver probably could tell us in the chat. But I think if you're on like me on Firefox or something else, I think once you enable notifications, you might not get them right away, but you'll get them. Just let us know in chat. And then obviously follow us on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube is another 2 free tickets as well. And like I said, you get a lot of tickets for free at that point. So you should have enough to at least enter a couple times. But yeah, like I said, you can enter as many times as you want, and you can get unlimited tickets by referring people. It could be your family. It could be anybody, honestly. It doesn't care to us. As long as you guys want to. And I guess I'll give us a little run through too really quick while we're at it. We did get the earnings calendar up now as well, which is awesome. If you guys see this right here to show you the prediction game of the day up here as well, you can see all the stocks that have earnings today. Some we definitely need to probably look at today. Obviously, it's like, CSX. If people want to point and laugh at Lucid, we can look at that too. Nothing against Lucid, anybody. I do think the Lucids are a nice car. I've actually sat in one and drove one around a little bit. It felt pretty nice. But again, I don't know what's going to happen to that company. Who knows what's going to happen? So, I feel bad for anybody that got into that when it first came out, though. But if you guys want to do more stocks, though, that are small and mid cap, all you got to do is click on this right here, and obviously you'll see more stocks. Let's just say we're pointing at, let's just say we're looking at Palantir. Let's just say CSX real quick. You can see right here when you click on it, you can see all the earnings, past earnings, past calls, everything like that. So you can see everything. And obviously, once the earnings comes out, you'll see the reported. You'll see if it beat or not. You can also see, past earnings, past revenue. See if they hit or if they didn't hit. They kind of gives you an estimate overall. But yeah, that's a quick rundown on that. I'm trying to think of the last. Oh yeah, we should probably do cash outs really quick because I know a lot of people keep asking about that. For cash out, guys, all you got to do is hit cash out. I'm on the wrong thing. Don't worry about me.
It's fixed. It's working now.
Yeah, it's working now. So if you haven't cashed out yet, today is Monday. Like we said, everything hit the bank finally over at Stripe, and we can finally, cash out. So if you guys haven't cashed out yet, you can do that now, which is super awesome. And if you haven't set up your account, you can set up really quick. It's through Stripe. Tons and tons of businesses use Stripe. You will be, obviously under protection there as well. So yeah, that's a quick rundown on everything. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Make sure you guys get your bids in. We're close to 1,500, which is crazy. Let's go. I think that was a good rundown.
If we hit 2,000 predictions today, I will go live stream Eddie's wedding.
Guys, we have to hit 2,000, guys. He's going to live stream Eddie's wedding. Come on.
Which literally is in an hour. So we're going to have to disconnect here, Ali and I, in
that's fine. That's
half an hour and take an Uber over to the chapel.
That is awesome.
We're going to, so if we hit 2,000, I'll live stream his wedding. So
I hope
go get your mom signed up.
To hit 2,000 predictions because I got to see this for sure. Oh man,
Eddie was saying in the morning he hasn't told Kevin what's happened to his portfolio in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sure. Yeah, especially with Bitcoin, it fell off a cliff. Ooh. I don't even. Yeah, I haven't even looked at my accounts because I just don't want to because it's just okay. I did buy some stuff today though. But I wasn't looking at my. I had it hidden. I was like, no, I'm not looking at it. I do think it's a good time to buy. Obviously, when people are fearful, that's the best time to buy. But man, does it take a lot of conviction to get yourself to buy? Mm-hmm. Everybody always talks about everybody always talks about this. The best time to buy is in the red day, especially a red day like today, where it's just a bloodbath across the markets, across the whole world, because everybody's fearful of the recession here that could happen. Maybe we're already in one. Who knows at this point? Because I feel like usually when you're in a recession, you kind of figure out you're in a recession after you're already coming out of said recession, unless it's a really, really big bad one. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, I feel like a lot of people are obviously fearful of that. So it's really, really hard to get yourself to buy on red days. And even myself, who's been buying, stuff for a long time, even today, it was hard to get myself to buy. I was I don't know if I'm going to catch the falling knife. Right. But at the end of the day, I was man, it's just too good to pass up. Because my look, if I don't buy, what'll happen is 1 or 2 days from now, it's going to be back up to where it was because the market's just insane. And I just don't trust it at this point. And either it feels that way. It's since 2021.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Jason. It's one thing to talk about, buy when others be greedy when others are fearful, right? Like that famous quote from Buffett. It's one thing to talk about it, and it's a totally different thing to be able to do it when you're in the middle of the storm, right?
Yeah, exactly.
which I think begs the question: is it more important to be emotionally mature and stable, or is it more important to be smart, incredibly smart as an investor?
Yeah.
Right? What is more important? And if you had to pick one, what would you pick?
Oh man. Well, I never want to, buy or sell with my emotions overall. Like, I think for me, at least, it's just being smart about, my capital and like where I put my capital. I think that's the biggest thing for me, at least. So I guess if I had to, obviously, I guess I would pick that side of things, like being smart about it. Right. But again, when it comes to like, emotions, like when you're buying and selling stuff on emotion, like usually that's when you're going to lose the most. So to me, it's like, when it comes to these kind of things, it's like, okay, what is the smart area to make money in, right? Not like, I hate this. It's like, okay, it's like people that say they didn't want to buy Tesla stock because they didn't like, Elon Musk, or they didn't like, maybe they didn't like something that's happened, right? Whatever it may be. Like, to me, it's like, I don't really care if I like Elon Musk or not. Like, stock go up, like, in like super layman's terms. I just believe in the stock long term, whether it's, even if Elon wasn't at Tesla, like, honestly, I'd still invest in the company, to be honest. And that's just because I feel like overall, like, the engineers that work over at Tesla are just so good. And they're so like driven. And I'm saying, like, obviously I feel like, Elon has a part in that too. I just feel like, as long as there was another person that stepped in that was, on that side, that kept pushing, I would still invest in the Tesla, just because I feel like the long-term gains in the company and like where it's heading is the future. So I feel like for me, again, it's just by being smart about my capital.
Hey, Victor, welcome.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up, man?
Man, I'm trying to break this bad streak. Every time I join,
you do, yeah, bro. Like, we can't have Victor on anymore, guys, because every time he joins, the market is red.
I'm afraid you guys are gonna ban me. It's like, yeah, get rid of that guy, man. We're losing too much money.
I won't hate you so bad once the market goes back up and where I bought in lower. Like, it'll make me feel better, but every time you join, though, it's definitely a red day.
The Japanese market going down 12%.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, though, the Japanese market is it's been so bad for so long. I know this is like the worst day since like 1987 for them, but man, they've had the whole Japanese market's had it bad when it comes to like getting
the last
anywhere.
couple of years. They've been on a run.
Well, they've been good the last few years.
It's been really high.
I'll give you that. They definitely have been good the last few years.
I get a pullback in Japan. I just feel like we had a bad week last week. We had, especially Thursday. If you look at Thursday on the NASDAQ, it went down from the top to the bottom more than 5%. And I saw that type of aggressive move, and I'm like, okay, the market's scared. If you look at the VIX,
market's scared.
it was just off the charts. And then I looked at the VIX early today, and if you look at the VIX and compare it to the last time it was this high, it was when they announced COVID. It's like, holy smokes, that's how high the VIX is. So I'm like, wow, the market's scared. So the market's been rising from the time the NASDAQ opened to this point. It's up substantially. So it's kind of okay.
This isn't terrible. Like I said, the market has been up a ton just in the past few years, like, especially in the past year and a half. Like, the market's went up a lot. So I'm not fearful, right? Like, when I look at it, like, could like we be heading to a small, like, some sort of recession, or could we be in a small sort of like recession time period? Like, absolutely, that could definitely be a thing. But at the end of the day, like I said, for me at least, the ones I'm going to blame the most is the Fed, because they've been so slow to react to anything. They're like, oh, we don't want to, like, again, like I said earlier, like, if I was the Fed, had a chair, like, when I was looking at the markets, I'd have been cutting back in like May. And it wouldn't have been like big cuts at that point. You could have did, a 0.25 basis cuts at that point, right? You didn't have to go crazy. But now I feel like in September, if they wait till September, I feel like at this point, the way it's going, like, we're definitely going to see a 0.5 percentage point cut. And honestly, if the markets get too crazy, that we might see a whole point, cut. I just feel like they've been slow at response. They're the reason why we've been in this mess. Like, I get the whole hawkishness of of some of the Fed members. I get that, like, cool, whatever. But I just feel like they're so slow. The data they're looking at so old. When I'm looking at the overall market, at least that's the way I look at it, whether it's real estate or whether it's the stock market or other equities. Like, anybody smart, I feel like, at least would have seen this coming. It like June at the very least, like at least last month, you should have seen this coming. But I feel like May was like easy to see it.
So what are we thinking of Palantir, guys? Let's do a quick round and make our predictions. So I'll start.
Okay.
I'm going to predict a 25% decline in Palantir after earnings today.
A whole 25%. Jeez.
Ooh, man.
Remember, I got really Facebook right. I got Facebook right at +8. So
yeah,
coming out swinging Y, multi Y.
Palantir is one of those stocks that's, even though it's fundamentally a good company and I would buy it, the problem is that the PE ratios are out of whack. And if you add up stock-based compensation and stuff, like, the market is just not rewarding that type of growth. Like, in the last 3 weeks, the sentiment has completely shifted. But Palantir's price went from 28 to 23. It really should have gone to 14 or 12. Just based on, like, you look at Facebook, you look at Google, Amazon, like, they're getting hammered. And they have, they're trading at like 20, 30 times PE now. And so, like, what is Palantir doing trading at, like, I don't know what it is today, right? But like some obscene
24
number.
A share.
Yeah. So like the PE ratio is like, I think, close to 100 or something, right? Can someone quickly pull up Palantir's current
188.
PE? Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. So just logically, like, there's whether it happens today or whether it happens, but if the current sentiment in the market holds, Palantir must correct to the market sentiment. I mean, and Nvidia corrected. Everyone else corrected. Palantir's it's in for a rude awakening. Even though I like Alex Corp, I think it's a great company. All of those statements can be true. It fits in with my autistic founder theory as well.
True. It's honestly a really good read too, because I had them going down after market as well at earnings. Because again, I think they, in the market we're in right now, it's not going to get rewarded for, even if it does have like good earnings. I still feel like when I'm looking at it, like, obviously, again, you obviously can see that again, people are investing into this company for the future, so it's kind of had its mind of its own. Again, I love Palantir. I'm investing in Palantir. But again, I do think the market that we're in right this second, it's not going to get rewarded, even if it does have like good earnings. Because again, like I said, it's just the market that we're in. Again, like you said, the PE is just so off the chain here. Now, again, if it sees a big correction, like if we were to, like, again, like you just said, like a 25% or even like a 35% correction, I'll buy in, a lot more at that point too. Because again, I think this is a great stock if you can get it, especially if you got it back here in like in the teens, $17, $18 range. I think that's a lot better of a stock. But again, for me at least, when I'm buying into something like Palantir, I'm buying into the future. Obviously, they've relied heavily for years on the government side of things for contracts. Now I feel like they were kind of slow, but eventually they came around now. Now it's not so much reliant on government contracts. You have your more of your everyday contracts with different companies now, which I think is great. But yeah, where I see, at least I see, when I was looking at earlier, I was gonna say anywhere between like probably like a -8% drop aftermarket. That's kind of what I was seeing. Maybe -10, but -25. I mean, I guess it could happen 100%, especially in this market.
So I'll go next. Man, you guys make really good points. It is kind of amazing that Palantir has kind of held their value as well as they have over the last 3 months. My initial guess before I heard your comments was that it'll go down a couple percent. I actually just made my prediction at $23 a share. Okay. And I just thought that, man, they've held together quite well. Their revenue growth is really good. And if you look at their last quarter, almost 21% revenue growth. That's really good. So having said that, I guess I'll stick with my prediction, but agree with you guys that this thing could really tank if they have any hint of bad news. The market's just been punishing stocks.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. 100%. Any bad news is going to be really bad at that. That's where, honestly, if it's bad news, that's when I could see the negative 20%. I was going negative percentage even with good news, just because the market has just been so like, even if stock come out and they're like, having good earnings, it didn't really matter. They're still bopping them overhead. So for me, at least, like I said, that's the reason why, like, I was looking at like at least a negative, like probably like 7 to 8%, maybe negative 10. I'd be happy if it went up just because obviously I own the stock. But again, like I said, when you're looking at it, you're looking at fundamentals. This stock isn't something you're investing in the future when you're investing in the Palantir. Like, you're not investing in the right now, at least at this price point. I think you're investing into the future with this price point. Because again, I think Palantir has a bright future. Because again, I feel like year over year, like their growth is going to be sustained. I think obviously we're going to see more and more growth with it. There's another company too that I think is kind of with like Palantir, like SoundHound. I don't know if you guys ever heard of SoundHound before, but I feel like those type of companies, I feel like, again, you're investing into those kind of things like for the long term, not like the short term.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the market is not even rewarding short term.
I agree. I agree with you. Again, that's the reason why I think it's going to go down. I don't think it's going to go down 20%, unless again, if there's like bad news in this, like it's going to get hammered hard. I agree with you 100% on that. Like if it comes out really bad news, it's going to get hammered big time. Because they're only down 3% right now, right, in the day.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Which isn't
like Nasdaq is down 3%.
Yeah, so it's not like something crazy. So that's the reason why, like, I do think I'm with you on this. Like, if there is some bad news there, we could see like a really good hammering of the stock. And I'm somebody that loves balance.
Yeah, guys, we have 3 minutes remaining. So, go get your mom signed up and go put in those entries. If we hit 2,000, I'll go live stream Eddie's wedding. If not, you don't get to see Eddie get married.
Oh, dang. I better get some
It's in Vegas. We're actually in Vegas.
Yeah,
and I never thought this would happen to me, but we're actually in Vegas for like it's not exactly a drive-through wedding, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I honestly, like, I never, like, I've always heard people doing them, but I was like, yeah, I'd never go. You know what I mean? Like, the chances are so small. Because a lot of people go there, they don't even plan it, right? They'll go to Vegas and then they get, plastered and like, oh, let's go get married. And then you wake up and you're married and you're like, what the hell's going on? I don't know. I actually had a friend that did this. They got a divorce like a month later. So, yeah, like, I actually have experience. And like one of my friends, like, they went to Vegas. I wasn't there with them. They went to Vegas and he literally got married to somebody he literally knew for one day. So yeah,
this related topic, Hangover 1. That is a movie I could watch over and over again.
It is a great movie. Very, very.
Tonight we will try and build a sequel.
Yes. Oh man, that's great. All right, let's. We got 1 minute, by the way, guys. If you guys don't know how to do this again, if you make a prediction, all you gotta do is come down here to the button that says make prediction. Put in your stock price. What do you think it's going to be? Let's just say you're like an ultra bear. You're like, I'm going to 1692. There we go. Boom. Lock it in. That's all you got to do. That's all. I went up there. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go down that far unless, again, I guess there could be like a hammering. If it goes down that far, I would definitely be buying in more again for sure though. Because like I said, I'm definitely a buyer more in Palantir like 17, 16 than I am, especially when it gets above 25. So I guess let the buying opportunities come forth, buying opportunities. At this point, that's the only thing that's held me together today in my sanity is like, hey, this is a buying opportunity. And we should probably talk about this really quick. I don't know what time you guys are heading out, but we should talk about, obviously Berkshire is, obviously selling off half of his Apple shares. So, What did you guys think about that with Warren Buffett?
I think it's so hypocritical. I think he makes all these like things. Oh, I never sell and I don't do. And you look at his actual trading, and he's just as like emotional and like
100%,
driven as the rest of us, right? So like, I feel like right, because Berkshire, like Buffett has always said, oh, you hold your best companies forever. Like really, Apple generated all your profits in the last 10 years, and you're going to sell it.
Here's what I'm thinking too, is that obviously I think he's, again, some of that insider stuff. He's like, look, I feel like at that point he kind of seen the writing on the wall when it comes to this market. I think he's going to buy back in on Apple with some of that money, at least, maybe not all of it, but I still feel like he's going to buy back in at, a lower price. Sold it. He's going to buy back in at a lower price. Obviously, again, having Warren Buffett like sell shares like that and like being all over the headlines, like that's going to scare your everyday, retail investor, because they're like, oh, it's Warren Buffett. But again, like you said, if you're looking at his stuff, he's literally, just as much as Kathy Woods when it comes to buying and selling shares of companies.
Yeah, not quite as hypocritical.
Okay, I wouldn't say it's quite as crazy as Kathy Woods. Okay, my bad. That's my bad. But still, he still does it a lot.
I agree. He's not like the prophet everyone makes him out to be, right? Like he's still doing the shit that we do and we feel guilty about. But then,
he's made mistakes, and Berkshire has underperformed the S&P since 2000, so it's 24 years, right?
Yep.
Berkshire started with a mistake.
Exactly. It's just like a weird one to see, right? Because again, this was plastered. I don't know if you guys it was plastered everywhere that he sold his Apple shares, or half of them. People were like going nuts about it.
It may be one of the other investment managers they have.
Yeah.
Because there was some news around like it was somebody else at Berkshire that bought into Apple in the first place. It wasn't Buffett. So I don't know if that's true, but
I mean, maybe so too. That could be true. I actually haven't read into
good
that before.
timing. Good timing.
It was definitely great timing. I agree with that. That's the reason why, like, I feel like, man, it's just this timing's so good. It's like, did somebody know a little bit of something about like, certain numbers or whatever it may be, and like they're like, okay, like the market's gonna, RIP the whole world market. At least it's not just like it's the USA market. But again, like. I feel like what's driving a lot of that is the fears of the, a USA recession or US recession. Again, like I said, I just feel like we're in this time period where like, if we were to have a recession, I don't think it's going to be like a recession of recessions past, if that makes sense at all. In terms of like a where like everybody like, losing, bajillion jobs and like nobody can pay their rent. And I feel like it's going to be a lot different type of recession if we did have one. But honestly, I feel like right now, what we're having right now is just a market correction because we've been going up so much just in the past month alone. We've had some pretty good, gains here, especially since May. So I just feel like we're just having this market correction of whether it's 5 to 10% overall. And then I feel like, especially once they eventually, come out and drop rates, I feel like then you're going to see a lot of people buying back in really, really quick. But again, like I said, that's just my prediction on it. It could be different. Like we could see, another 20% sell off in the next couple of days. I have no idea, obviously, but I just feel like we're gonna see some tops get topped off, and then we're gonna hit this lull period, and then once rates do start getting slashed, I feel like we're gonna see like a rocket go back up again.
Shout out to Murthy, the lead stocks guy at the top right here.
Yep,
right there. Sad.
Yeah.
Whoever did that.
I think it was Murdy. Yeah, that's how we all feel today, I'm sure. Need to have the option to pause live. You should have an option to pause or mute the live stream. If you see it right here, I can show you how to do that. Like right here's, and then pausing's here. No, you're good. You're good. Okay, you said never mind. My bad.
Yeah, no, we do have it. Yeah, I don't see the earnings have dropped yet.
No, they haven't dropped.
Let's keep it.
I was checking too.
Let's keep an eye on it.
They should any time. I see this. It's nothing like big there, but I do see some aftermarket moving.
Yeah, I'm seeing a 3% pop aftermarket.
Yeah,
but I don't know if the earnings are. Oh,
well,
they
the
might have
issue
dropped.
is,
Oh yeah.
I think they did. I think the computers
Oh.
have them.
Oh, we're up 10%. I'm an idiot. Great.
See, Murdy, you had me feeling all down, and now I'm over here like, what? No, honestly, though, I was expecting a drop just because the day's been so bad. But I feel like at this point, people are like, so like, they're tired of it. Like, we're just going to buy. Like, F it. But I also wonder, like, how good are these earnings?
Jason, you want to share your screen?
I think already am.
Yeah, pull up the chart.
Okay, yeah, I just opened your screen on. Yeah, you could just go to Palantir on Yahoo Finance.
Yeah,
Since we love Yahoo
pull it up
Finance.
too. Hang on a second. I got it. Where are you at? Here it is. Sweet. Yep. It's up to 26
Yeah.
bucks. 27. Where's the earnings? I don't see them out
What did
yet.
they do? Did they cure cancer? What did they do? Yeah, you know what's really funny?
I don't know what's happened, but the computers say buy. That's all they know. I mean, as somebody that has the stock, obviously, and like, invest in it, like, it is good to see some green on the day here, but like, I don't know. I wish the earnings would pop up.
So it's funny. Companies are posting their results on Twitter before they post them on their own IR websites. And so here's the link. If you want to pull it up, I'll drop it in the chat here.
Yeah, drop it in the chat. Yeah, that'd be great. I didn't think about looking because a lot of times they do post that. So Palantir generated 678 million in revenue in Q2 2024, a 25 million beat. Man, that's probably why I guess they really beat. I thought maybe they'd come in right at analysts. I shouldn't say that's like amazing beat, but it's still a beat in this market, especially right now. 652 to 653 million of an increase of 27% year over year. That's a really good increase, though. They expect to generate 697 to 701 million in revenue in Q3, outperforming. I mean, honestly, this is good news overall right here. That's the reason why the markets are really celebrating this.
Yeah, 134 million in net income this quarter.
Yeah,
the largest quarterly profit in our history. So that's probably, the revenue growth is amazing, but
the revenue growth is great, but yeah, I do think
profitable.
Yep, I'm with you on that. The 134 million in net income is really, really. That does more than I thought they were going to do. Like a lot more than my expectations.
So we're at what 100p now, like
still high again. I think.
So we were at 200. Well, let's see. We were at 200 before earnings dropped.
Is that people? It's just almost like the Tesla stock, right? When it was like rising, people just don't give a shit right now what the earnings, like what the PE level is now. They're looking at the PE level in like 2026, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. At least they're looking at it that or 2027, 2028. Like it's almost at this point, it's almost got a mind of its own where people aren't looking at PE as much as they're not looking at the fundamentals. They're looking at the future potential of the stock. And again, that's the way I look at the stock too. I'm not going to lie. Like I'd much rather invest in this company at $17, $16, $17, $18. But when I'm looking at it, it's just to me, at least when I'm looking at it, it's almost like I'm not saying it is like a Tesla, but when it comes to like its future ambitions and like where I think it could go, I feel like it's high up there. I do think there's some other stocks out there kind of like it though, that like I was talking about, like a SoundHound. I think it's another one that could see some really good potential and growth over the next 5-10 years. I just like it's got some turns.
Sorry, I was just going to do a quick roll check. Did anyone own Palantir here? Drop a message in chat wherever you're at.
There has to be there's some Palantir owners.
Stonks. Did anyone own Palantir going into this earnings call?
Everybody owns Palantir. I don't know, honestly, but there has to be some people owning Palantir in the chat. I mean, if you're a retail investor, you can't call yourself a retail investor without having Palantir in your portfolio, right? I sure is some, honestly.
Are you a retail investor?
I mean, I'm a retail investor. I'm the biggest of retail investors, honestly.
Davis says he has some Palantir. Good for you, man.
Good job. Good job, Davis. Send feet pics to Stock Jock. Exactly. Old Stock Jock, man. We should have bought it at 18. I'm new at investing. Yo, I mean, honestly, again, now's better than, any time to start investing. So at least it wasn't a year from now or 2 years from now. Investing something, like I said, like honestly, like, out of my family, which is kind of weird, like I'm like the only one that invests money into like stock market or does any of that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of funny. Like I said, I definitely didn't grow up in that type of environment.
What does everybody else do? Just savings accounts, real estate?
You're the only one in your family too? Yo, nice, Tennessee. Oh, in my family?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, my family's like, I would be straight honest. Like my family's like poor as shit. Like super, super poor. So like they don't have like anything outside of like their homes or whatever, right? So that's like they're like in I guess like paying into Social Security, which obviously at our age I feel like is kind of redundant because it probably won't be around anyway. So it's like but whatever. I was like the first one in my family to like kind of turn things around. Growing up at least, like so I had like a super weird like childhood. So unfortunately, like pretty much my whole family was like, or like non-investors, like they, pretty much a savings account. That's what they do. Or they put money in a lockbox because they think the government's going to take it,
Yeah, good for you, man. I'm glad you did well. You broke the cycle.
I definitely broke the cycle. Like I said, I did all that stuff for my kids at the end of the day, but so I was like, I can't do this because I grew up in that type of environment. I noticed people in the chat too. They're just like me. Like, we grew up like, pretty much dirt poor, like trailer homes and that kind of stuff, which is kind of weird. Like looking at, like when I look back at like what I've done in the past, like, 15 years, because I'm getting old now. It's like, thinking of that's like wild because especially compared to like where I was at, like growing up. And I'm sure like, again, there's probably tons of people in the chat that are the exact same way. Which is good to see. It's good to see like people break cycles and like, get out of that like foothold that kind of like clamps some families in America more than others. But I think it's awesome to see more and more investors get into it. And especially that's the reason why like, I'm so excited for like the retail investor side. There's so many people that used to not like invest or like families and like things like that used to not invest. Now you have people that are actually investing, which is awesome.
Good to hear, man. There's some questions in chat. Solar Yellow says he's up in green on Palantir, but Schwab TOS screwed me this morning. How? How did Schwab screw you? And King Gate says, what about the guidance? I think the guidance is up as well. So not only did they beat on both revenue and income, but the guidance is up big.
Big. That's something good. I'm so glad of that, right? But the PE levels are still crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like it is good to see, Palantir. Like, and again, I have full faith in Palantir and what they're doing here because, for a while there, I was one of those people that was kind of like not skeptic of Palantir, but I was just kind of afraid of Palantir in some ways, even though I was investing in it because they were so heavily reliant on the government and government contracts. But it, once they started really overhauling, the non-government side of things, that's when I really got excited about like what Palantir was going to go. Let's see. Yeah, yo, Solar, how did Schwab screw you though? I need to know. I need to know too now. Reminds me of CMG earnings, but without the sell-off. Yeah, I can see that too. I mean, you're probably gonna see like some cap, and then obviously right here where people bought, and then you're gonna see people that sell anyway because that's just how it happens when big earnings come out. But overall, like I said, to me when I'm looking at this, like we might see retracement back down to like 27 or so. But it might continue going up, and I'd be okay with that just because again the market's been so red for me today. Like having something in my portfolio that's green makes me feel at least decent.
All right, Jason. Ali and I need to head off to go to Eddie's wedding.
Awesome. Pics. And, need pictures at least. Okay, you ain't got a live stream. We need some pictures though.
We will get some pictures definitely and share them tomorrow.
Awesome.
Someone else from Stonks wants to join the live stream. Please do.
If not, I can hold it down. We got this.
Yeah. All right,
this is
guys.
what I
have
love
a
to
good
do.
day.
All right, man. You
See you
guys be
tomorrow.
careful
Good luck,
too.
Jason.
Be careful and have fun. Don't let Eddie get too wild tonight.
All right, take care. Bye.
All right, brother. Oh, so you couldn't log in. Thinkorswim app was down. Had plans to buy 100 more Palantir shares. Dang, man, that stinks. That really does suck, though. Honestly, like that really stinks. Let's see. William, what did William say? Are you using Chrome? I'll talk to the engineers. Yeah. So if you're using, he's using Firefox. If he's using Firefox, then yeah, Hustle will have to get that way. I'm on Firefox too because I'm just not using Google Chrome. So I swear I've been using Firefox for so many years. Like I'd feel weird going to another platform at this point. Like, what am I doing here? What do I? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's how it is. But it is when I'm thinking about like Palantir, at least, guys. Like, again, Palantir, it's probably a PE ratio of like probably 130, 120. Again, I don't think people are really like investing in the PE ratio. They're investing into Palantir's growth. They've had quarter after quarter after quarter of good growth, and that's honestly the way I see it continuing to go. They're not going to post it on their thing. But again, like when you're looking at this, like Palantir generated $678 million in revenue in quarter 2, 2024. That's a $25 million beat versus the analyst of 652. And it's an increase of 27% year over year. And they've had really good, increases already, quarter over quarter, year over year. So that's, they're building consistency of beats and also just having really, really good, increases there. And now they're expecting, pretty much somewhere around 700 million in quarter 3. So that's another really good jump there. Outperforming analysts saying, somewhere around like 680 million by 16 to 22 million. So that right there is one reason why the stock is up as well. And then when you're looking at U.S. commercial revenue, this is the big thing, right? So the biggest thing that people criticize Palantir about for a while there, even myself, I criticized Palantir a little bit too because they were so heavily reliant on government contracts. They're growing their U.S. commercial contracts like crazy now, which is amazing, right? So they had a 70% growth year over year and an 8% growth quarter over quarter. If they can maintain, anywhere between like 8 to say 10 to 12% quarter over quarter and still keep this on, that's like huge, right? I'll add you. What's up? What's up, William? How you doing, brother?
One sec. Yo,
no, you're fine. You're fine. No, you're good. You're good. So I feel like overall, their business, obviously has never been more profitable, like, Palantir says here, but it's just good to see. Like they have 134 million net income in quarter 2. Like seeing those type of profits, if they can keep that kind of profit up and grow it. Again, when I'm looking at this stock, say not this year, but I'm looking at the stock in 2028, 2027. Because like, at the end of the day, like as a retail investor, unless you're swing trading, which happens a lot, unless you're buying options, obviously long-term options could be a good goal as well. But unless you're doing that, most people are probably buying and like setting on stocks for at least a good, let's just say at the minimum 2 years, but most people are probably setting on for like 4 to 5 years, maybe even more. I kind of honestly, to me, I see Palantir as like I'm just buying Palantir and just loading up shares over the next few years. Not financial advice, but again, it's just one of those stocks that I see growth, and there's so many companies that need it that are going to continue to get it, especially on the commercial side. And then obviously, they're always going to have their government stuff as well, which brings in lots of income too. But it is good to see them grow their U.S. commercial.
Yeah, they're definitely a long-term hold.
Yeah, that's honestly the way I see Palantir. It's just like a long-term. To me, it's like a Tesla stock. It's like it's one of those stocks I'm just holding long-term. Or if I'm buying, to me, it's the same thing with like Apple, right? Or Google. Any of those kind of stocks I'm just holding on to. Obviously, I feel like Google's still one of those stocks that's like heavily undervalued because it's trading at like a 19 or 20 PE. And it's still a great one. Has been an amazing growth stock. It really has. Like Palantir, I feel like Palantir is going to be a good growth stock for years to come. There's another one I don't know if you guys ever heard of called SoundHound or something like that. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's another stock that like when I'm looking at it, at least it's like one of those technology stocks that that is just, it's not expensive, but again, I feel like that's like a good one to watch going into, the next few years at least. Like I said, it's definitely not an expensive stock. And they had like an up here where it went to like $8 and something back in March. But again, like I said, I feel like this is one of those stocks too that's like a long-term one. Again, that's if you wanted to get something that's different, right? But I feel like SoundHound, AI is like a decent one too that kind of gets me like when I'm thinking about like this is a great stock. And obviously there's lots of stuff talking about Palantir and SoundHound in the same, analyst forum, but they're definitely different companies though. It's not like you're not buying Palantir over SoundHound. Like they do totally two different things. So yeah, when I'm looking at those kind of stocks, like I'm like, okay, this is like a good stock to buy long term. There's obviously stocks you want to swing trade as well, I'm sure, out there for you guys. When's Warren Buffett going to sink $1 billion into Nvidia? I think when it comes to Nvidia, at least, and again, Warren Buffett with Berkshire and Hathaway, they do buy and sell a lot of stuff. It's not like, it's not like crazy, but they do buy and sell a ton of stocks. If we've seen Nvidia have a decent pullback, I could definitely see him, putting some of that money he made made on Friday from selling, half his Apple shares. But I still think they're going to buy Apple shares again. I think they were just pulling out to get like a good 10 to 20% drop and then buy in some more again. I have tons of sound. We also going to dump my HOLO and get another 1,000. Nice, Solar. Yeah, not financial advice, by the way, guys. When I'm talking about this kind of stuff, I just talk about like stocks that I see, as like, good stocks, good fundamentals. They've had good growth quarter over quarter or year over year growth at that point. Like I said, I do feel like SoundHound's a little bit behind Palantir, but again, they're two different stocks in two different areas. I shouldn't say two different areas, but they do two different things. They're definitely in the same area at least.
And have you seen what SoundHound does? What their product is?
Yeah,
it's like Shazam.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah, they're also working on another thing too, but I think that's not supposed to be like. I think it's like under wraps. But yeah, they're working. They have that platform that is kind of like Shazam.
All right.
They're doing a lot more stuff though with it as well. Like I said, to me at least, when I look at SoundHound, it's one of those. Again, it's one of those stocks I feel like it's going to have a worldwide use case. That I do feel like their team, at least that's building it, knows what they're doing. And again, when it comes to growth wise, I feel like they're going to be great. But people do, like, if you see there's a lot of stories out there like where they'll talk about like Palantir, but they'll also talk about like SoundHound, like the same articles. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're correlated together, or they're associated.
Yeah, they're very correlated. Yeah, like TipRanks. Yeah. This is one I'm right here. Like TipRanks did a whole section on Palantir, and then obviously breaks that down to where they see Palantir going. And again, obviously, I don't know if you guys have ever used TipRanks before, but they have some cool breakdowns of some of the stuff they do, and they have averages of all the analysts and yada yada yada. I wouldn't really pay too much attention to the analyst stuff as much as just like all the information you can get on there, but. Like I said, I feel like they do have some good information on, certain stocks and like what's happening in the stocks and yada, yada, yada. So obviously like their analysts, at least, we're picking Palantir and SoundHound as their superior, like, AI type stocks.
Yeah, it's definitely the top of the AI stocks for sure. I'm not even sure what they do actually. Do you know what their go-to is? I know it's something related to data. And it is
related to data. There's a whole breakdown that really breaks it down really good. I wish I could find it anywhere, but
because I know it's a top like FANG company in terms of prestige.
No, it's definitely a big FANG company. Mm-hmm. There was an article that really broke it down really, really well. I wish I could find it because like I said, it is very. How do I say, like, it's unique. But also, like, not the most unique thing, but also it's very, like, I would say, like, intricate with a lot of stuff and like I feel like a lot of platforms are going to be using it, commercial platforms at least.
Yeah, I mean, so they're doing AI, like the sound like mimicking I see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are popping up all over YouTube too.
Yeah, it's everywhere. No, it's everywhere. Yeah,
I see a lot of-
exactly. Like we've
You could
needed a
use your
company to come
voice.
in and kind of change everything, and it just hasn't happened. And I feel like SoundHound's that company is going to come in and like make voice AI adoption like something that's way better than it is now, and something that you could actually interact with as a user. And also, you could also use it to speak different languages, like all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, because ChatGPT, it's not really. It's still more like text based. It's not talking based. So I think they need that to make it more accessible.
No, 100%. I feel like when it comes to especially when it comes to open AI and stuff like that, I kind of look at this and SoundHound, like even open AI is different things. Because then again, I feel like there's going to be different business out there that definitely use open AI, and obviously the business already out there using ChatGPT and other things. But I feel like this is like that one and all service that let's just say like McDonald's, right, or wherever it may be, right, could integrate it really, really quick, and have everything in one place, right? When it comes to touch, when it comes to your visuals, the voice, interacting with different languages. I think right now I know they support 25 different languages, but I know they're growing that as well.
Oh, okay.
I just feel it's just one of those companies. Yeah,
it'd be really good for customer service, just because you could just eliminate that entire workforce of handling relations if it's ready to answer questions. So taking orders from McDonald's or troubleshooting for Amazon or anything like that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of different things we could use them for. But again, like I said, when I look at it, I just feel like almost every company out there could use something like SoundHound. And again, I feel like they're above and beyond anybody else right now. I think they're ahead of the crowd when it comes to, obviously when it comes to really perfecting that space of what they're doing. Not saying it's perfected yet, but I'm saying they're closer than anybody else is. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of, I feel like they have a lot of good growth, at least in the next, let's just say the next quarter, especially the next year. So it's early days, obviously, for SoundHound. You can still buy it super cheap. But again, for me, it's just one of those stocks I've just been buying in a little bit here, a little bit there, just to hold it for the next few years and see what happens. Like I said, there's always a chance that it doesn't do a ton. So I'm not saying again, not financial advice. Not saying that anybody goes there and invest into the company, but I do feel like there's definitely a space for something like SoundHound to really take off on the business side, especially commercial, and see some really good growth over the next few years.
Are you seeing Palantir right now? I think it's stabilizing at 28. I think whoever's at 28.
I thought it was going to stabilize at when I was looking at least, I thought it was going to stabilize somewhere in the 27s, but I mean, stabilizing at 28s are great too. Because you're right. It definitely capped twice right there on the top 28. Yeah,
that's like a 20%, 15% bump up after earnings. That's wild.
I'll be honest. Like I said, with the stocks today being so down, I thought we was going to see again, I said earlier, a 5 to 8% drop. Yeah, but again, they beat so good. They beat so good that I don't. There's no way you don't. You know what I mean? There's no way people aren't buying into it.
Yeah.
Imagine if the market didn't have a down day today, and it wasn't the bloodbath. I feel like I wouldn't doubt it. This stock being up at $32 right now.
Yeah, definitely the market.
I really wouldn't doubt
brought it down.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, again, I'm somebody that's been investing into Palantir since 2020 and 2021. Again, I was early days in terms of I had critiques of the business just because they only they were getting into commercial at that point, but it was so slow. And I was like, man, you guys got to ramp this up. But also they were making so much money from government contracts. I get why they were just trying to stabilize. So I get that point. But yeah, I was really big component when it comes to when they really, really started getting into the commercial side. That's when I really started loading the boat with Palantir. Because Palantir, overall, out of stocks wise, Palantir is my third highest company, which is kind of in terms of individual stocks, which is kind of risky. But I did get in earlier, so I was more. I was buying in the teens.
Yeah, it's a lot lower.
No, yeah, exactly. 100%. So if it was to I guess I wasn't gonna be terrible if it did fall 8-10%. I'm okay, whatever. But I am glad to see some green on my portfolio on the day.
It's a good day for you.
Yeah, it's that. Well, on this side, not on everything else. I mean, overall, the markets went down like what? Like at one point, markets were down like 5-6%. They came back up, so we had a good resurgence up. Obviously, the bad thing I hate about like the markets, honestly, for me, is like just like the political stance of like it gets everybody like being stupid on the internet. They're like, oh, see, it's gone down because this person's president or because this or this or this. It's like, not really. We're just, again, I feel like we're seeing a correction. I 100% knew we were going to see a recession, not a recession, but a correction. I just didn't know when it was going to be. Obviously, with the Fed taking so damn long to do rate cuts, again, like I said before, it should have been in May. But hey, I think that's the biggest reason why we've seen that, because obviously they're taking so long for rate cuts.
Yeah.
You see winners.
The game just finished up.
Yep. Game finished up. Here we go. Monty in first place, Jacob in second place, and Cersei in third place. Let's go. Congrats, everybody. I see Monty and Jacob and Cersei in the chat just a little bit ago. So congrats, Monty, on $250. Jacob, congrats on $150. And Cersei, congrats on $100. Let's go, guys. Hey, let's go. You said 23. Oh, man, sweating over there. Sweating. I mean, I don't know how many people have seen Palantir having $153 million in net income though either. So that really helped them.
Yeah.
really helped them. Even with the down day, they're like, yeah, we don't care.
All right.
Congrats to anybody else that won. Obviously, you can enter as much as you want, so you could have won an extra, $20, $30, $40, because obviously we allow a lot of people to win. The top 3 people win the most. That's how the game works on this one, at least. We're working on some other stuff that'll eventually be coming out as well. So definitely, guys, tomorrow we'll be back on at 3:30 Eastern. I'm pretty sure tomorrow, let me look at earnings calendar. I think we already picked the one out for tomorrow, but I just want to make sure that I have the right one. I say the right one. Tomorrow, I think we're doing Airbnb. But we'll probably talk about a lot of stocks tomorrow. So we'll probably talk about, Airbnb. We'll probably talk about Fortinet right there as well. We can also talk about Coupang. Coupang will be a good one to talk about. That was a stock that a lot of people had like a lot of hopes with when it IPO'd. We can definitely talk about Coupang.
It's
Illumina we can talk about. Oh, is it I keep saying Coupang. Coupang, yes. RIP me. We can talk about Rivian too and Toast. There's a lot of stocks we can talk about tomorrow. Toast is a smaller, and obviously Rivian's a smaller, company. I don't know if you guys ever drove a Rivian truck before, but they're actually pretty nice. They're one of those companies that are just like, it's in a weird spot. I feel like it's super early days for them. But I do like their trucks are pretty nice. I'll be honest.
They're super expensive.
They're so expensive though. I agree with you. They're supposed to be like eventually these companies come out with like their most expensive stuff first, and eventually they kind of work their way down. They're supposed to be working on like a smaller EV truck that's supposed to be, I think like half the price.
So it's just when they can scale up, and then they can get the
they're scaling right now. So, but I like Rivian as a whole in terms of like, again, on the truck market of EVs. I think their trucks are like outstanding. I do think obviously when it comes to technology, they're definitely behind. They're not like a Tesla, so you're not getting Tesla technology with them. But I do think you are getting like a nice EV truck though. Toast could be another one we talk about, because Toast is another small cap. I shouldn't say small cap, but I say they're mid cap at least, because they're only at 13 billion. Which I say only 13 billion, like only 13 billion small. But you get what I mean. So there's some stocks we can talk about tomorrow. Amazon's going to be, Airbnb is going to be the stock we talk about in terms of like you guys bidding on tomorrow though. We can also talk about tomorrow with Murdy, how Celsius did, because he's investor in Celsius, put a lot of money into it. And I know he's crying some tears, but hey, we can talk. Hopefully they beat on their revenue tomorrow. They had a bad time last revenue in last quarter. So yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow, guys. We'll be starting up. So if anybody, we don't have anybody in chat. It'll be starting up later, because I think Oliver and Eddie, obviously Eddie's getting married. So unless we have somebody else that's going to change over the stock of of the bids. I don't think we do. So we'll do that later. You guys will see it updated later. We'll be doing Airbnb though. Hope you guys are back here tomorrow. We'll be here, man. Damn, I got 7 or 8. Still better than a half. Yeah, true, Pedro. Hey, it's free to play. So do I not log in anymore so my daily bonus can refresh? No, you can be logged in at any time, Adam. You can log in at any point. It's countdown. So as soon as you do your daily login bonus, it's just a timer down here. See the timer down here? So mine, I can claim my next one in 10 hours.
No, I think he's asking, does it restart because he did 8 days in a row? I think it does just cycle
No,
back.
it restarts by itself, Adam. It restarts by itself. So you'll see it restart. If you went all 8 days, it restarts by itself. Like I said, I did mine yesterday on Sunday, my last number 8, and today it refreshed. And see that I have times 1. But yeah, guys, we'll head out. I appreciate everybody being here and bidding. We had 1,575 predictions today. Tomorrow, let's hit 2K predictions. We got Airbnb. Hopefully, the market will be a green day in the market. We did see a little bit of recovery today in the markets overall. I think there was a lot of panic selling. Obviously, that's what happens a lot. Computers sell and then retail investors sell right afterwards. Computers then buy back in at lower prices because computers are way faster than us, and they make a lot of money again. That's just how the market goes. But we can join in on the fun and make money too. So thanks everybody for being here. Yo, crypto. Peace out, brother. Peace out, trust fund. You trust fund. You got 4 days in a row wins. Nice. Let's go. Checkmate. Peace out. See you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Risk and rewards. See you tomorrow for Airbnb and all other stocks. Bye, everyone.
Peace.